Here's what cat owners almost never say out loud. Your cat is a terrible loser. Not because she's spoiled, not because she has a personality flaw, because her brain was literally not built to process an unfinished hunt without consequence. Think about what a house cat actually is. She's a solitary predator living in an environment where prey never fights back, never runs far enough, and frequently disappears the moment a human picks the toy up and puts it away. She has a nervous system designed for the most demanding solo challenge in nature, and she's using it in your living room. The gap between what her brain expects and what her environment delivers is bigger than most people realize, and it shows up in ways that look like bad behavior, when they're actually something else entirely. So what's happening when your cat loses? There are 3 things driving it, and they almost always happen at once. First, the predatory sequence. Ethologists who study feline behavior identify a fixed sequence built into every cat's hunting drive. Watch, stalk, chase, pounce, catch. Each stage triggers a neurochemical release that primes the brain for the next one. When the sequence completes, when the prey is caught, the cat receives a full dopamine payoff. Her nervous system resets. She's satisfied. When the sequence doesn't complete, that payoff never arrives. The arousal, the drive, the focus, it has nowhere to go. And a cat with unresolved predatory arousal is not a relaxed cat. She's a loaded spring with nowhere to release. Second, hierarchy signaling. Cats are not purely solitary. In any multi-cat household, or even inside a single cat's internal model of her own territory, position matters. The cat who holds the highest spot, who reaches the food first, who successfully defends a claimed space, is not just comfortable. She is communicating status in the only language her nervous system understands. When she loses one of these encounters, another cat takes her spot, a human moves her, she fails to hold her position. Her stress response activates the same way it would in the wild. Not dramatically, quietly, underneath everything. Third, and this is the one most owners never see coming, the frustration loop. Researchers studying feline behavior have documented something called redirected aggression. Your cat watches a bird through the window for 20 minutes, can't reach it, can't finish the sequence. Then you walk past her and she swipes at your ankle. She didn't attack you because she dislikes you. She attacked you because her nervous system had unresolved arousal and you were the nearest available outlet. The bird was the competitor. You were the consequence. In 2021, researchers studying environmental enrichment in domestic cats found something that reframed how feline play should be understood. Cats who played interactive sessions that ended with a successful catch, where the toy was fully pounced on and held, showed significantly lower redirected aggression and restlessness in the hours that followed. Cats who played the same amount of time but never completed the final catch showed elevated restlessness, increased vocalization, and were more likely to display frustration behaviors within 30 minutes of the session ending. The length of the session didn't matter as much as whether the sequence finished. Your cat doesn't need more playtime. She needs to win at the end of it. Here's the detail that makes this more than just a behavior pattern. The neurochemical that builds during the predatory sequence is dopamine. But dopamine isn't a reward chemical. It's a wanting chemical. It surges before the payoff, not after. And when the payoff never comes, dopamine doesn't simply level off. It leaves behind what researchers call motivational frustration, a baseline of unresolved drive that makes the next arousal event hit harder, makes the cat more reactive, more restless, harder to settle. A cat who never gets to finish the hunt isn't bored. She's running on permanent want with no release. And here's what most owners do without realizing it. They put the toy away before the cat catches it. They end the game when they get tired, not when the sequence completes. They watch their cat track a bird for 20 minutes, then close the blinds when the bird leaves. Each of these moments is an interrupted sequence, and each one stacks. The most content, behaviorally stable cats in documented enrichment studies share one thing. They are regularly, deliberately allowed to finish. Not just given toys, not just stimulated. Given the experience of completing the sequence, catching the thing, winning. A cat who wins regularly doesn't need to redirect. She doesn't need to take unsatisfied drive out on ankles, furniture, or other cats. Her nervous system is doing what it was built to do, and finishing where it was built to finish. If your cat swipes unpredictably, seems wound up after play instead of calm, or is restless right after a window watching session, this is the framework. She's not difficult. She's not aggressive. She's a predator whose brain keeps starting a sequence her environment keeps interrupting. Tonight, when you play with her, let her catch the toy. Hold it still. Let her bite it, grip it, kick it. Let the sequence finish. Then watch what happens after. That's not a trick. That's her brain finally doing what it was built to do. If this gave you a different way to read your cat, that's what Feline Decoded is for. Subscribe, and every week I'll give you one more thing about your cat that you didn't know you didn't know. What does your cat do when she loses? Drop it in the comments. I read every one.